Hey dads. So, your big day is almost here. The first plane trip with your new baby. Like pretty much every phase of parenthood, I know there's often mixed emotions. Excitement, nervousness, outright terror that something will go completely wrong and you'll cause permanent emotional damage. But I'm here to tell you, taking a family trip is an amazing experience that's totally worth it. And even if things don't quite go to plan, you'll have a fun story to look back on for years to come. With a little planning though, you can mitigate some of the unnecessary stress and complexity and enjoy the experience as much as possible. In this video, we'll share our top 5 dad-friendly tips to help make your first flight with your baby a good one. So here we are, the lead up to a milestone trip with lots to think about and lots to do. If you watched our video on booking tips, then you should be in good shape from a trip planning perspective. And if you happen to watch our packing video, then hopefully you're feeling good about your equipment. Now, let's get to where the magic happens, going from home to plane to destination. Tip number 1, take the lead. As the dad, this is a perfect opportunity to take charge and lead. Proactively handle checking in for the flight. If you need to make any special arrangements with the airline, jump in. Know your itinerary and what you need to know and do next to stay on track. For example, suggest a feasible time to leave for the airport. Mom's got a lot going on with the new baby, so the less she has to worry about logistics, the better. It's her vacation too, after all. Tip number 2, budget your time. If you're used to adults-only travel, know this is essentially the opposite. You're gonna likely be checking bags, carrying lots of stuff, and adjusting to your first flight with a baby. There's no reason in the world to cut it close and add stress of not making the flight. Every airport is unique, and your journey to get there is unique too. As a general rule, I'd suggest arriving to the airport no earlier than an hour and a half before flight time for a domestic flight. Most of that cushion is for you to navigate the baggage drop before cutoff and security line. So if you're particularly confident about handling those two things, then you can adjust accordingly. On the flip side, you don't need to arrive hours and hours early because you'll be outside your home base with a baby, which may make things a bit more complicated. Tip number 3, bring ID. Technically, you need to show proof of age for your baby. No, an Autopia souvenir driver's license doesn't count. This might be a birth certificate, passport, or hospital record or birth letter. In reality, this is not unlike theme parks, that if they sense your walking, talking, running kid is over the lap infant age and want to call you out on it. Keep in mind, I'm talking domestic flights here. If you're taking the baby international, you will 100% need a passport, so plan ahead. This age check has not come up for me in practice, but don't leave anything to chance and be prepared. Tip number 4, time your feedings. Keep in mind that this is your baby's very first flight, so chances are they haven't experienced air cabin pressure or major swings in altitude. You know how we tend to pop our ears when flying? Maybe by swallowing or yawning or chewing something? Well, like in many other skills, babies aren't born knowing how to do this. You can lend a hand by feeding them during takeoff and landing, the 2 times when air pressure changes happen fastest. By swallowing milk or formula, this can help alleviate uncomfortable ear pressure. Overall, some babies are just more sensitive than others. We were diligent feeding our older daughter the first couple flights, but really she managed the cabin pressure just fine, so it wasn't ever a big problem. Tip number 5, one last change. It's happened to the best of us. You're out and about, or even sitting right in the middle of your own living room, and you hear the gurgling and the bubbling, and you know you are about to discover the awesomely disturbingness left in the diaper. The short of it is this: try, if at all possible, to get one last change in as close as possible to boarding. No guarantees you're going to prevent a 4-alarm blowout from happening, but do what you can to avoid having to do the gymnastics to change a baby in an airplane lavatory. Well, that's it for now. Since you're ready and packed, the only next step is to get ready to navigate the travel itself. Until then, here's to all you great dads out there.